going to show you how to run a patient's CareCredit card. So what we're going to do is go to carecredit.com. It will automatically pull this up. Username and password should be automatically saved. However, if it is not saved, there is the white binder up at the front with the username and password in it. Or you can go onto the server and search passwords, and there is a logins and passwords Word document that will pull up that has everything in there. So let's go ahead and click login. And what we're going to do first is account lookup. And we're going to put in the patient's CareCredit account number. Now this is going to be the 16-digit card number on the front of their CareCredit card. If you don't have the account number, you can also click on Social Security number and zip, and you can put in the patient's social and zip code there and search, and then it should pull up the patient if they have an active account. So I do have her CareCredit account number, so we're going to go ahead and enter that in here. We're going to hit search, and then it pulls up the patient's information. This does show that the date of last sale was August 9th, and it shows the patient's available credit is $1,179. Now, to submit a transaction, or if you need to refund an account, you can do that here as well. We do not do the credit limit increase in the office. We do require that the patient do that, call CareCredit, try to get it over the phone. We don't do that here in the office. The patient can come back and say, hey, I didn't request that. There's so many stipulations out there that, you know, we don't want to cross those lines. They kind of get into gray waters, so we want to stay away from that. So we're going to go to submit a transaction or refund. And up here at the top, you can select purchase or refund. So we're going to do a purchase, and her account number is already right here. It does blank out the first couple of numbers. We're going to hit continue. And then here we're going to enter in the amount. So we're going to go to the patient's account, and it was for $126.60. So I'm going to bring CareCredit back up. It's $126.60. The program name is going to be CareCredit. Now, these other ones here, there's Invisalign and Lumineers, just so that you know what that is for, is some offices that participate with Invisalign. If a patient pays for Invisalign with their CareCredit card, CareCredit has special rates with Invisalign. So whenever you select Invisalign, the patient or the doctor, instead of getting charged that 14% fee or whatever the fee is, depending on how much interest-free the patient gets, they get a lower fee that they have to pay because they have special rates with Invisalign. But this is, for now, since we're not doing Invisalign or Lumineers, Lumineers is the same as Invisalign as far as their rates. But we're going to click on CareCredit. And for CareCredit, there's usually 4 options if it is over $200. So I'm going to kind of go through the rates real quick. So anything that is below $200 or $200 or below, the only option you have is this standard account terms for 102. However, let me put in here $200 just so that you can see these other options come up as well. So the first option is code 106. It's deferred, 6 months deferred, no interest. So anything from $200 to $700 would be code 106, no interest for 6 months. Anything from $701 to $1,200 is 12 months deferred, no interest if paid in full, or code 112. Anything from $1,201 to $1,800 would be 18 months, no interest if paid in full, or code 118. The last one would be anything over $1,800. For that, patients can get 24 months deferred, no interest if paid in full, and the code for that is 124. Now, every office kind of chooses their own way. I could go in and give this patient 24 months interest-free onto a $200 charge. However, the higher number of deferred interest payments that the patient has, the higher our fee is. So if I decided to do that on this, we may only get $50 from CareCredit. We wouldn't even get close to the $200. So we kind of have our own guidelines that we go off of to where we are charged the minimal amount from CareCredit for the patient to use this service. So on this specific patient, we're going to go back in and put $126.60. And now we're gonna click on the 102 standard account terms. We're gonna scroll down to patient client ID. You can leave blank, that is optional and for practice use only. The next step is gonna be the patient's identification. So we're gonna use the patient's driver's license. I'm gonna put in her expiration date. And we're gonna put the state. And we're gonna hit submit. Maybe, if it will allow me to. There we go. All right, now up here at the top it says transaction approved. And then it shows for the patient's amount, it shows that we did 102 standard account terms, and this was a purchase. So we're gonna go ahead and print the receipt. Let me make sure that it prints. Okay, it is printing. So I'm gonna leave this up just for a minute just to make sure it prints correctly because the printer's in the other room. And now we are gonna go back to the patient's account in Open Dental, and we're gonna hit payment, $126.60 in this little box here for the amount. We're gonna hit okay. And then we're gonna come down here, and this was a care credit payment. So we're gonna mark it as care credit. This payment was for her daughter. Let me go find out, and I will tell you exactly what I'm doing in just a moment. This is for number 3 and number 30. So this was for that patient for number 3 and number 30. Okay, so what I did is so that we know where these payments were meant to be, or where they were meant to go by. Let me change this. We're gonna delete splits, and we are gonna put this one on Chloe. And this was for Chloe on number 3 and number 30 is what this payment went towards. So we wanna make sure we put that little note in there. That way there's no questions in the future as to what that payment was for. And then this will pop up, apply part of payment to other family members. We're gonna click no. And, okay, my apologies. I should have clicked yes on that because this is showing under Sean. For some reason, it's not transferring over to Chloe. So we're gonna hit delete splits. We're going to go ahead and hit Chloe. We're gonna hit okay. Apply part of payment to other family members. Yes. Now it should have went to Chloe's. Yes. So now there is the payment on Chloe's account for $126.60 for number 3 and number 30. All right, guys.